you guys can't file personal bankruptcy. And when I say that, I'm not talking about literally. You understand when I say personal bankruptcy? I mean, most people are filing personal bankruptcy right now because of the plan they're on. Please don't take what I'm saying literal right now. I can't afford for you to miss this. Most people are on a personal plan of filing personal bankruptcy because they're going out of business financially. Let me prove it to you. This is important. I'm not just talking. I want to prove this to you. So now that I elaborated, let's make this point. Most Americans work 40 plus years and earn money that's decreasing monthly. When they retire, their income stops and their expenses continue every month. You become more and more poor. Now, in business, if expenses were up every month and revenue is down, they would be out of business. Most Americans are headed to bankruptcy personally. You are systematically working towards poverty. Why is that such a bold statement? Okay, so let's see, will you make it without thinking like entrepreneur? Let's just see if you'll make it. Example one, you need $50,000 a year for retirement. That's $4,100 a month, $4,100 a month. You would need $1 million in investments at 5% interest to land on that goal. Anybody in this webinar right now got $1 million in their investments to maintain the same $50,000 a year, the $4,100 a month you need. Do you currently have $1 million in investments earning 5%? See, let me look you in your eye real quick because I need you to hear me and hear me good. The scenarios I'm about to give you are scenarios that people are on every single day right now. Meaning they want one outcome, but what they need and what they want, the gap is too wide. So they're burnt out mentally. Burnout is when your work ethic and your desires are too far apart. So most people are working hard, and their desires are great, but the expectation or the results are too far. So they're burnt out. When the gap between what you want and what you have is great and there's no game plan in the middle, you get burnt out. So the scenarios I'm giving you they're going to explain to you and show you why most people aren't succeeding financially in this country. They're on a road to personal bankruptcy. The plan you're on right now won't work. It won't. In the first scenario, you need $1 million getting 5% to give you $50,000 a year, which is $4,000 a month. You need $1 million at 5%. Now, by the time you retire, will $4,100 a month be what you think it is today? The answer is no. $4,100 a month will be the equivalent of about $2,200 a month. I'm gonna give you 3 scenarios and we're gonna talk solutions. Let's understand the philosophy you got to have as a business owner now. You got to be more aggressive. You can't sit back and worry about who's in the president's seat. So example 2, you're earning 10% right now on a good mutual fund. You need $360,000 at 10%. That's $36,000 a year. That's $3,000 a month. How many of you have the $360,000 at 10%? And will you have, the way you're going, the $360,000 at 10% to get you to $36,000 a year, which is $3,000 a month? Now, let me make sure you guys understand example number 2. Do you understand that time is a continuum? Time is a continuum. In other words, if you don't have the $360,000 right now, it is okay. But if you're our age, right, 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, if you're between 20 and 50, you've been working at least 10 years. What are you going to do different in the next 10 years to start looking at having the 360? And $360,000 will only bring you about $3,000 a month. Now, let me ask you a question. How are you operating right now off $3,000 a month? How's that feeling for you? How is I'm not knocking people that make $36,000 a year. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying by the time you retire, if $3,000 a month right now is not where you want to be, your $3,000 a month is $1,800 a month by the time you retire. And that's with $360,000 in your account at 10% interest. So if time is a continuum, do you guys know that you're working on the $360,000 right now? Do you understand that? Right now, as I sit here and look at you on this webinar, you are working on the 360,000 right now, which means you have to speed up because 360,000 is not enough. I got to give you the mindset though, so you can understand where you are right now. You got to speed it up. You're developing these skills and you're getting on these webinars and you're learning these marketing strategies I'm teaching, and you're getting this entrepreneurial mindset right now. Why? Because you got to speed it up. See, I'm a teacher of access-based education. That means I give you access to all I have, all my failures, foreclosures, bankruptcies, loans, falling behind, all kind of stuff. But guess what? I still stand before you as a person that is extremely successful personally, financially, spiritually, socially, emotionally. Why? Because once you get education, you determine what your fate is. Nobody else does. I wake up when I want to wake up. I go to bed when I get sleepy. I hop on a plane when I feel like it. I land where I want to land. I arrive where I want to arrive, how I want to arrive, when I want to arrive. And you're talking to somebody that didn't have 20 bucks to his name when I was 21 years old. I didn't have $20. You listening to somebody who made $1 million and lost $1 million in my 20s. So making the money is not just it. You got to learn how to keep the money. Once you get the mindset of an entrepreneur, you got to have the mindset of a mogul and the mindset of a tycoon to keep the money. So you're listening to somebody that's earned 7 figures and lost 7 figures and rebounded and got it all back. How? Because I knew that in this country, you can do what you want to do if you have a product or service that people are willing to purchase at an affordable price and expect to receive a quality profit. The people control how well you do, not the president of the United States. I don't care who's in office. Okay, I don't care how much you like them or hate them. I don't care how much you hated Baby Bush, love Reagan, like Barack Obama, hate President-elect Trump. It doesn't matter. The president does not determine how well you do financially if you are an entrepreneur. So if you're worried about the next 4 years, why don't you have 20/20 vision and become a business owner, because a business owner now runs this country. To me, some stuff is just common sense. Well, if a business owner now runs this country, then guess what? That means the people, or AKA the Electoral College, put a business owner in the seat. Why? Because America is a big business. That's all it is. America's a big business. Americans apparently are tired of a politician running the country, so they wanted to do something different and see if a business owner can run the country. So all I know is you might want to become a business owner now that the business owner's running the country. Because I doubt if he does things that are going to be anti-business. Let's keep going. So most people are failing financially because they don't understand leverage in this country. Let's look at example 3. You earn $500,000 in the next 3 years. People say, woo, woo. Brian, that's what I'm talking about. Give me $500,000 in the next 3 years and I'm good. It looks like I'm on the way to riches, wealth. I got $500,000. Well, here's the reality. After taxes and inflation, you're right back at example number 2. So all you guys that think you can just work and save and work and save, let me give you a news flash. Your $500,000 is $360,000 after taxes and after inflation. So your $500,000 is $360,000. So you right back here if you're not careful. So that's why I keep harping on, and most of you guys that have known me for a long time, you know that I open up most of my keynote addresses with the understanding that the future is now. Because even if you have $500,000 right now, if you factor in taxes and inflation, it's 360,000. I just showed you an example too, with 360,000 to do at 10%, you got about $36,000 a year coming in, which is $3,000 a month coming in. So Brian, how in the world do I become immensely successful if these are my numbers? The answer is simple. The following examples I just gave you are people who don't have control over their income. You see, if you have control over your income, then all you got to do now is get the right system, the right marketing strategies, understand entrepreneurship and the mindset that it takes, and you can triple and quadruple the expectations of someone who's waiting on someone else to pay them. So let's be clear. The examples I just gave you are people who are just working and investing. They're just working and they're investing. They're just working and they're investing. You got to start thinking big. You got to start thinking big. You got to start thinking about where you want to be in 2020 and 2021. You got to have vision 2020. A lot of y'all got 2020 vision, but you don't have vision 2020. You see things well, but your goals aren't big. I don't care how well you see things if your goals are small. So what? You can see a goal that's crystal clear. It's right in front of you. I hope it is, because it's this big. Because this is important. It's time to talk philosophy. The scenarios I just gave you represent people who work and save, 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 invest, work and save, invest a little, work and save, invest a little, work and save, invest a little, work and save, and invest a little. That's not the people on this webinar tonight. You see, you're on this webinar, and although that may be what you have to do right now is invest and save and work a little, invest and save and work a little. My goal tonight is to give you the entrepreneurship mentality so you can start teaching this mentality to your children. Look, let me say this real quick before I transition to the philosophy. Here's what you have to do. Listen to me. Entrepreneurs and future entrepreneurs. If your child earns $10, teach him this now. 3 goes toward his future. $3 goes toward what's called operating capital. That's basically what he needs to sustain. Okay? Like you would call it expenses or bills. 3 goes toward the future. Your child makes $10. This automatically needs to be implanted in his mind. 3 goes toward the future. 3 goes toward his lunch money, his games, his operating capital, whatever he needs right now. 3 goes to a mini emergency fund, and $1 goes to somebody else to help them. Church, charity, that's 10%, right? You need to teach your kids 30, 30, 30, 10. 30%, 30%, 30%, 10%. 30%, 30%, 30%, 10%. Now, what happens is when he makes $100, he or she is already programmed. $30 goes toward me for my operating capital, because it's the operating capital that earned the $100 in the first place. Your child knows I work for the money, so I pay myself $30 first. $30 goes toward my future, because one day I'm not going to feel like working. So I got to put $30 of my 100 towards the future. $30 goes towards a mini emergency fund, because rainy days are coming, and $10 goes to the church, somebody that needs help, some type of charity, because the law of reciprocity is real. So now when your child makes $1,000, he's older now, 300 goes to him. 300 goes to operating capital. Operating capital. 300 goes to the future automatically off the top. 300 goes to a mini emergency fund, because you got to prepare for war in times of peace. And $100 goes to the church or charity to help somebody else. It feels good to give. If you start teaching your children that when they make $1, they don't spend $1. When you make $1, you spend 30 cents. But see, here's the thing. If you really listen to it, 90 cents went towards you. It's just a matter of what it went towards. 90 cents went towards you. It's just a matter of what it went towards. The problem with most people is they're going on vacation from the operating capital jar. You can't go to Hawaii on the family vacation, or to Miami on the vacation, or to Italy on the vacation, or South Africa on a vacation with the operating capital money. That's how you file financial bankruptcy. If you don't have the money in the vacation jar, you can't go. See, what I was doing back in the day, don't be like me now. I was trying to help everybody because I was blessed. My friends got it, I got it. My family got it, I got it. So what happens is if you don't allocate 10% to somebody else instead of 100% to somebody else, trust me, all of your money will go to somebody else. That's how entrepreneurs think. Hey, I can help you, but I promise you it's going to come out this 10% jar. It's not going to come out of my operating capital. It's not going to come out of my emergency fund, and it's not going to come out of my future. It'll come out of the jar I set aside to help people. Let me tell you guys something. When the help people jar is empty, you can no longer help the people. When the help people jar is empty, you can no longer help the people. Let me give you guys a good side note I had to learn personally, because the more successful you become, the more people want you to help. Write this down. No is a complete sentence. No is a complete sentence. See, when you're trying to get wealthy and you're on your journey to entrepreneurship, everybody has to pay the price. You know why? Because everybody benefits when the money start rolling in. Everybody do me a favor. Type no in the chat room. Because I'm telling you right now, a lot of times, man, it's your friends and family members that will keep you from succeeding as an entrepreneur because they don't understand it. So you got to understand, no is a complete sentence. Just type no. Let me see the no's pop up because you got to be able to use the word no if you want to be successful. No is a complete sentence. I'm serious. Man, in my 20s, man, I was helping too many people. So in my 30s, I got smarter. I said, okay, let me put something aside so I don't feel guilty when I can't help you. Because if the help jar is empty, it's just empty. And you got to wait on me to get paid in order for you to get paid. You see what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man, I'm trying to tell you as an entrepreneur how you got to think.